NRL vids 090 back here with another video today. In today's video, this is my fantasy team I'm going to be going through today. So, obviously, many people are saying they're super coach teams for the NRL 2021 season. Obviously, a lot of people are doing their fantasy teams like me. And, look, I've put together my team for this year. I didn't do fantasy last year, but this year I will. Look, I've got my team right here. I think it's pretty strong. I'd say it's not a bad team I put together, and hopefully you enjoy the video and you like my team I picked for this year. So look, I'll go for the team really quickly. So at fullback I've got Corey Allen, pretty cheap. Not the most greatest fullback, but he's definitely solid, I reckon. So he gets a spot on my team. At Carswell quality, so I've got him on my wing with Jason Saab. Centers are Brian Killian, Justin Owen, pretty good centre pairing, full of strike. My halves are Jerome Lyon, Daly Cherry Evans, a really powerful halves combination. I mean, Cherry Evans is obviously the clutch, good captain, and he is very consistent. And Jerome Lyon is obviously a star player, a lot of X factor. He's my pick for the Daily M in 2021. So Jerome Lyon gets a spot in my halves in my team. My back rowers are Jordan Ricky and Elliot Whitehead. Obviously, Elliot Whitehead's a very consistent back rower. He is a very hard-working player. You always know what you'll get out of him. A lot of toughness from Elliot Whitehead. Good player, in my opinion. And Jordan Ricky, he'll start the year in the back row for the Brisbane Broncos. So I'd say Jordan Ricky's also for another breakout year. He's in a small handful of games by Jordan Ricky. He's shown his potential, and he has shown what kind of play he could be in the future. And I think Jordan Ricky, for mine, is my starting back rower. My props are Jared Warrior-Hargreaves and James Fisher-Harris. Obviously, Hargreaves is experienced with a lot of rep games, and he's won premierships and all that. So I'd put in my team with Fisher-Harris, good young player. He's also played a lot of rep games for a young player, and I think Fisher-Harris is going to have another big 2021. My lock is Jake Trbojevic, also the vice captain. Jake Trbojevic is obviously such a really full-hearted player who always plays for his team, always turns up on game day, very consistent as well. I love Jake Trbojevic, great player, so he gets a spot on my team. Hookers, Jane Brayley, obviously not the biggest pick, not the best pick for my hooker position. Obviously, there could have been Damien Cook, Harry Grant, Abby Coruscant I could have picked, but for mine, I think Jane Brayley is decent enough to get a spot on my team. I think Jane Brayley, is still a solid hooker. He played well in that Storm Knights trial this year, like last week. So I think Jane Brayley's in for another good year at Newcastle. I think he will go pretty well at hooker, in my opinion. Now, my interchange, I've got Isaiah Papali'i and James Roberts. Now, Isaiah Papali'i, he came from the Warriors to Parramatta, and I think in that trial actually played, he really impressed. Definitely will be pushing his shoreline for that starting back row spot. So I think Isaiah Papali'i is a really tough player. He's got a lot of skill. I really rate Isaiah Papali'i, so he gets a spot off my bench. And my other bench spot goes to James Roberts. I think James Roberts is a great pickup for the West Tigers. Just depends if he can remain consistent. But, Roberts is a great player. I think Roberts will have a good year at the Tigers. He's shown that trial match against Manly that he's ready to go, and I think Roberts will have a good year at Tigers. My other bench spot is Renouf-Tony. Now, not many people know much about Renouf-Tony, but I know quite a bit about him. I think Renouf-Tony is a really good player. I understand he'll probably come off the bench for the Bulldogs this year and play a bit of prop, I reckon. So, and I think Renouf-Tony is a tough player. I think he's got a lot of good raps on him for a good future in the NRL, I reckon, and at the Bulldogs. And he's a local in. Look, I think he'll get a. I was going to say he's a local junior at the Bulldogs. I'd say Renouf-Tony will have a solid year at the Bulldogs off the bench. He will work really hard, and I think he'll go well. And my other last bench spot goes to Ben Murdoch-Masila. Obviously, Ben Murdoch-Masila has come from the Super League. He had his first stint at the West Tigers in the NRL and Penrith Panthers. Then I think in 2015 or 2016, he went to the Super League. Now he's back for his second stint in the NRL at the New Zealand Warriors. And I think whether he's starting in the back row, whether he's starting at prop, whether he's starting at lock, whether he's starting off the bench, doesn't matter. I think he'll provide a big impact for this Warriors team, especially in the front row with guys like Fanua Blake, Bailey Sirinen, Elias Katoa, Tahu Harris. I think he'll play really well behind those sort of guys, and I think it's going to be a big year for Ben Murdoch-Masila. Now my reserves, so these are all my backup players. I've got John Asiata, Connor Watson, Josh Schuster, and Bailey Simonson. So obviously John Asiata came from the Cowboys to Broncos in 2021, and I think this year John Asiata will go really well for the Brisbane Broncos. I think that he provides a lot of versatility, can play in the halves, can play a lock, in the back row prop. He can almost play anywhere, John Asiata. Very, very reliable player who does a job, and I think he'll go really well. And I've definitely I have to find a spot for him in my team, I reckon. So yeah, he gets a pick in my reserves, as well as Connor Watson. Connor Watson's also a pretty good player. Can cover the backs, can cover the forwards. He's definitely a player that I can't miss out in my team personally. I really like Connor Watson. I think he'll go really well this year. Say if I have injuries in my team somewhere, he'll just come in and do the job, I reckon. So Connor Watson's a good player, and I think he gets a spot for mine. Now, Josh Schuster, I think he's a really, really good player. I think he's got a big future in the NRL. Personally, as a Manly fan, I think I'm really excited to see what he can do in the coming years. I think Josh Schuster is a player to look out for. I'd say he will probably start off the bench, but I think wouldn't be surprised if Josh Schuster, like later in the year, gets a start over Kira Foran in the halves. Depends how his progress goes as a player. But to mine, Josh Schuster gets a spot in my team, and so is Bailey Simonson. Bailey Simonson is a really good player. He can cover on the wing, fullback and centre. I really rate Simonson. He's probably going to start instead of Nick Kotrick this year, since Kotrick's gone to the Bulldogs. He'll probably get that wing spot, I'd say. And yeah, look, I really like Bailey Simonson. I rate him as well. Very reliable player, really young player, a lot of speed and talent. So I'd say he gets a spot for mine. I can't leave him out. Good player. So guys, that's my NRL Fantasy 2021 team. Hopefully enjoy the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next video.